Okay, no. Definitely, we are concerned about the delay. Up to now, we have not been consulted in terms of establishment of cabinet. As I said earlier on, we hope that the leadership of the ANC, in particular the president, will consult the alliance partners in terms of establishment before he do the announcement. Yes, we are concerned about some of the policies, some of the legislation. For an example, as the President Mike has said, we do have people who are anti-workers, who are part of the national unity, for the government of national unity. And that's a concern that they may come back and say something else, even though in the briefing that Comrade Mike is indicating that we're briefed in the political council, we did raise, but we were told that we should not be worried because the ANC is leading in that national government. One of the policy or amendment of the Labour Relations Act that has not been finalized by NEDLEC engagement is the amendment on Section 189. Because we have made a submission that the Section 189 under the Labour Market Chamber must be amended to make it very difficult for the employers to retrench workers. You will recall we've announced these things publicly that we want to make it very difficult that these employers must not wake up in the morning and give you a letter, that as Comrade Mike was saying, giving you a letter that we're intending to retrench, come to the table, they come there and just tell you that we are retrenching. We want to make it difficult for the employers to do that. That's one of the critical amendment of the Labour Relations Act that we think it may be stifled in that discussion. The issue of the occupational health and safety, combining it with the mine health and safety. You remember the occupational health and safety of 1993, still we have made a submission of amending it, but also consolidate the Mine Health and Safety Act and the Occupational Health and Safety Act of South Africa to be one. Because currently the Mine Health and Safety Act is very important. It's got issues that really talk to workers. But the Occupational Health and Safety Act, workers have no right to refuse to work in an unsafe area. But in the mining they do have, so we want them to be combined. That's one of the issues that we think that this political parties who are anti-workers may lead one of the portfolio committee, sit in the chair in the portfolio committee as a chair, but at the same time as a minister may delay this amendment. I think the president has spoken about DA, the manner in which they conduct themselves, and we're unapologetic that DA continue to consistently to present issues of racism. You know, you have seen it, one of their members who is in parliament, who made statement that is very, very, very dangerous to and threatening the workers in particular. And the DA says, no, it's suspended, it must be investigated. Our call is that it must be prosecuted. There's no difference between the statement made by the president of EFF and the statement made by Host. The same thing, it's racism, and racism is criminal. He must be charged and face the music. I think the president will take the last from Katla.
Okay. Just before the Katla, the pension reforms, it is important to note that the sixth administration, the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces have approved these bills. Yeah. So we're not worried about that because it's a question of signing. Having approved, the sixth parliament also set up a implementation date, which is the 1st of September. So everything else that was done by the sixth administration and have timeline, it will be very interesting if there's a chance of reversing that. So we think that once the thing of engaging with the putting up the cabinet and the policy of GNU, the president will find time sign. We know he has been signing a whole lot of bills almost every weekend since the past few months because they were made. So we want to assure the workers that from where we stand, there's no chance of reversing the issue of the two-port system because the necessary bills were passed by the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces. We would have loved that by now, because the Parliament has also passed it, the President will have signed or must sign the Public Procurement Bill into Act, because it is important for the public procurement to curb issues of corruption and crime and fraud, but also to have transparency in what the public procurement, particularly in the area of energy, like ESCOM, and so on and so on. But also to help to implement what we call local procurement, because that's what is part of what is contained in that in that public procurement bill, so that everything that must be procured by public, we must prioritize local procurement in order to stimulate jobs and help the manufacturing sectors of our country, so that the economy can grow. So that's one part I wanted to raise on the bills that are there. And of course, now that we're in the GNU, whether or not all the manifestos are going to come together and formulate a new policy that is not included in any of the manifesto, it's an animal that we have to see it once it gets shaped going forward. Did we go into what happened in terms of our analysis during the election? We did, but we didn't finalize. An ongoing assessment. I'm sure you will know, Katlewa, that from the 30th of May, everybody was an analyst in this country. I'm sure there's very few people who did not try and analyze what happened. Almost everybody I met was analyzing what happened. So we didn't want to fall into the trap of just taking about any analysis or commentation that is taking place out there. So we're being systematic in our analysis, and also assessing, because we also had election structures that we have put out there to ensure that we run the election, but also characterize the moment, because surely this moment is not an ordinary moment. It's a moment in history that it's quite telling and watershed. So it's an ongoing. We know that we went into elections with groupings of political parties have formed themselves into trying to bring the ANC below 50%. One of the things that we can tell you now is that it became apparent that even though the neo-colonial right-wing political parties as led by the Democratic Alliance and its splinters, the one that have broken away from it, in trying to consolidate the right-wing agenda, they formed themselves into what they call the Moonshot Pact, or the multi-party charter, in which they were hoping that collectively they are going to get 50+1%, so that they alone can form a government. And they were calling the other possibility without them a doomsday. So if you go to metaphor, so there's a moonshot, which is theirs, and then there's a doomsday, which was another coalition, possibly the ANC with other people. But we can say that the South African voters, even those who might have alienated by the ANC or have left the ANC, they rejected that consolidation of the right-wing agenda by the Democratic Alliance. And that's a message that we think everybody else who is discussing the coalition must not lose, that the right-wing agenda was rejected by the majority of voters. Whether they went to the progressive or not, but the fact is they rejected the Moonshot Pact collectively, and it's an attempt to consolidate a neo-colonial dispensation in our country. I don't know why we should have assessed the emergence of MK Party, because there were many parties that emerged during these elections. There were others that emerged in the last local government elections. There were many that came around. Yes, the MK Party became a factor. So from where we stand, is that MK Party, like any other political party, is a political player in our country's body politics, which we'll have to contend with moving forward. Of course, we noted, because we went to the ballots trying to get a progressive agenda, in this case as represented by the ANC. We noted that some of the things they stand for seeks to take us back, particularly in our quest to build a national unity or a national state, or one unitary state for that matter, because they sometimes advocate for something that borders on federalism or even feudalism for that matter, that we must subject ourselves to the monarchy, something that many of the African countries were trying to move away from. But other than that, or beyond that, we have to accept that they are political players. They've entered our space. They will have to be engaged with, or to be interacted with the same way South African society is interacting with any other political parties in the country. There was nothing major that we thought needed to be resolved to isolate the MK party over DA, because our enemy is DA. It's not anybody else, because the DA has declared us as their enemy, so we are returning the favor, but not the MK party or any other party for that matter. Thank you.